こんにちは、チャートマスターの根崎ゆうきです。2月22日、金曜日のセッションリーキャップ取っていきたいと思います。よろしくお願いいたします。それでは始めていきたいと思います。
1st of February is the session recap, and we're looking for the break of this bear flag on the euro down to the F6, which is 3085. So this is our area we're going to trade it.
まずはユーロドルから見ています。これユーロドルの10分チャートなんですけども、このベアフラッグ、これを割ってきたら S の6までトレードしていきたいねということですね。
And we're not going to trade till we get in this area. So we got to break this blue line here, which is 3187. We got to get out of the bear flag. We got to break, hook, and go, and then we'll take the trade down here, moving our stop to the 3100.
3187、3178、3177を割ってきてブレイクしてフックして、5になったら売っていきたいね。で、3100まで来たらストップを下げたいねということですね。
100, moving our stop to the 786 bid. Right? So, if we need a roadmap for this, we want more roadmap than this, how do we do that? We go back to a swing high, swing low in the past, and then we click that swing high, swing low for the extensions. And there's a swing high, swing low right there, and now we can see all the places we need to move our stops. Right here, the even number, and right here. See that? Very simple. That's our trade.
どのようにストップを動かすかっていうことなんですけども、昨日のウェブセミナーでもやったんですが、スイングロー、スイングハイ、高値安値っていうのを取ってフィブ引いて270618っていう風にして、ストップを下げていきたいよねと。
Right. Now, tomorrow, if we come in here and during the London session it breaks, hooks, and goes down to here, this will be counted as a session recap trade. We just talked about it. This is what you look for. If it does what we plan to do, I'm not going to be in the room to trade it. Right? Steve will be here to trade it. Right? But that's what we're looking for. That's why we would count that. All right? Because we just discussed it right here. And if you miss it, then if you're away from the computer, no problem. But if you're in front of it, shame on you. All right? British pound. This is a potential.
今のユーロドルなんですけども、セッションリーキャップのトレードということで、僕たちのエージャンセッションとか、ロンドンセッションに発生するかもしれませんと、見ておいてくださいということで、続いてポンドドル見ていきたいと思います。
Head and shoulders to the upside. We're at the bottom of a day chart trend line. We broke out of here. That doesn't mean that this trend can't continue to the downside. It certainly could. But right now, it's a head and shoulders, and I'm sitting on the sidelines till I find out what this is. So I don't have anything. I'm not going to trade it up to the upside. All right, so basically the British pound, unless it breaks down below into this area down in here, I'm not trading the British pound. All right, got a big space down here, as you can see, way down here. So if we break down in this area, we want to be looking for opportunities down in here. But until it
ポンドドルは現在ヘッド&ショルダーっていう形が見えていて、上の方にはトレードしたくないんですけども、下、この安値ブレイクしてきたら、ワイドオープンスペースが下にあるので、そこをトレードしていきたいねと。
Until it invalidates this head and shoulders, I'm not trading this thing at all. CAD dollar. CAD is at the top of the trend.
ドルカナダですけども、今トップオブザトレンドのてっぺんにあります。
There's a zone. We're in zone 4 of our channel. There is no zone 5, so therefore there is no place to go. All right, we're at the top zone. Therefore we got to come down. Until we get a pullback, there's nothing to do. But if this thing were to pull back, can everybody see we got a rising wedge? All right. So the pullback is imminent. The pullback should come back down into this range right in here, near the heart line, and then we'll look for the bounce up. Everybody see that?
ドルカナダは今ライジングウェッジという形にあって、これがプルバックしてきて、この下のところで跳ね返ってきたら上まで買っていきたいねという感じです。
Alright, don't trade it unless you get the retracement, the pullback. You got to get the pullback. Once you get
プルバック、リトレースが来るまではトレードしないようにと。ちゃんとプルバックしてリトレースしてから買っていきたいねと。
The pullback, you look for the trade back up to the upside. Don't forget, all these targets are no longer here. They're no longer targets, they are barriers. The target is still 102.08. Alright, retrace.
ターゲットは102.08、1.102.08、0208、1.0208がターゲットで、ここにあったターゲットっていうのはもうすべて取られてますよねと。なので単なるバリアになってて、 1.0208 っていうのがリアルターゲットだよっていう感じです。
Retracement will be behind us. The rising wedge will have created the retracement, the pullback. We're now in an area where we can make this trade. Swissy, nothing to do here. There's no room to the top.
ドルフランなんですけども、することがありません。もうトップにありますから、やることないですよね。
Just stay out of Swissy. Dollar yen.
Stay out of Swissy。ドルフランからは、離れておきましょう。で、続いてドル円です。
This is a lousy trend to the downside because it has no angle on it, and it's just a big box right now. As you can see, they're just trading a big old box right here. All right, so while we're in this box, if we do get the buy, it does interest me. I would then change the trend and include that like that. All right, but this
今、大きなボックスの中にあって、まだ、何もできないんですけど、上がってきたらトレンドを引き直して買っていきたいなという感じですと。
downtrend is not steep enough for it to continue that way. It's too shallow. They need a deeper line, and they don't have it yet. So I'd be real leery of that one right now. I'd be leery of any sell. If it bounces, I'd be interested in the buy. Right? So you can see that we actually have the trend already. It's a channel right now, but that's what we're trading in that way. Up. So the up trade looks good.
なので今はこのようなチャンネルが引けて、トレードアップの方がいいよねと。
If we do get underway, you should get some help from the Bank of Japan. That's where we're looking to go. So that's a big area right there, folks. All right, so.
大きなスペースありますと、このピンクのデイチャートのトップまでなんですけども、バンクオフジャパン、日本銀行が助けてくれていくかもしれないですよねと。
Retracements behind us, we can go. All right.
リトレースメントビハインドアス、もうリトレースメントしてきているので、跳ね返ってきたら買っていきたいねと。
Aussie dollar. We're still looking for the sell. And you see, what did it do? Sideways movement. Sideways movement is a continuation move. Looks like it's at 240. Problem is we're at a double bottom right here. So, if this continues.
OG ドル、今240分チャートを見てるんですけど、サイドウェイムーブ、つまり横ばいの動き、レンジになってきています。レンジっていうのはコンティネーションパターンの一つで、下がってくるよねっていう感じなんですけど、プログラムとしては、問題点としてはダブルトップをつけていることですと。
Continues to go sideways here and finally breaks. We're going to trade it down to the day chart trend line, which
もしこれブレイクしてきたら、このデイチャートの、ボトムまで行きたいですよねと。
A day chart bottom, which is 101.48, 101.50, call it. All right.
1.0150 っていうのがターゲットになります。1.0150 がターゲットになります。
You've got to do that. You're going to either get a roadmap, so you're going to have to take the high and the low here to get a roadmap to know where to move your stops in this big area here. But only on the breakout. So let's wait till the
で、ブレイクしてきたら高値安値を結んでフィブ引いて、で、この大きなスペースにフィブがエクステンションが出てきて、そこでストップを下げていきたいよねっていう感じですね。
down, and we're interested there. You can see they've got real problems here. They need to square this candle up here. So a move, if they just decide to keep moving this up to here, that would make a lot of sense where they squared this candle up. Then we
しかしこの長いキャンドルあって、これをスクエアアップ、ここを半分まで戻してこないと、おかしいよねと。なので、ここまで戻してきたら、もっとメイクセンスですよねと。もっと腑に落ちてやっていきたいことになります。
would be interested in that trade, but not until they did that. So if they did it, continue to build a bear flag instead of a rectangle this morning, they start building the bear flag, count on them coming up and squaring this candle up, and then maybe you'll get the turn here, and there will be your first trade and your second trade. Euro yen. Euro yen, we are inside a wedge, just barely broke out, and not much happening here whatsoever.
ユーロ円なんですけど、ウェッジの中にあって、特にすることはないですよねと。
So if we start in the Singapore or the Asian market, if we see a trade materialize, then it's really fairly small down in here. You know, it is 50 pips, so don't get me wrong. It's big enough to trade. We want to trade the euro yen for 50 pips, right? So I'd be watching for that right there. But it's only a single trend because there's no room down below here, as you can see. Pound yen, boy, if we can break into this area, we are really going to be interested. All right. Wow. Look at this. Huge, huge opportunity.
ポンド円なんですけども、この下、ちゃんとこの今のボトムっていうところをブレイクしてきたら、ここですね。ここをブレイクしてきたら、ワーオって言ってますけど、huge opportunity。大きなトレードができますよね、ということで、僕個人として140円っていうところを狙って売っていきたいんですけど、今、朝の9時なんですけど、ちょっと調整入ってますよね。この、スコットに安値、同じようなところを見てるんですけど、ここをちゃんとブレイクしてきてから売っていきたいなと。
And you know they can do that because there was the opportunity before, and look what they did. They ran it. So they can run this thing. There was an opportunity here. What did they do? They ran it. There's a big opportunity here. If they get this thing going, you want to be looking for that bottom right down there.
これまでのことを見てみると、こうやって ran it、つまりもう走ったよねと。いきなりドーンと落ちたよね。で、その次のターゲット抜けたらどうか。で、ran it、落ちましたよねと。なので、これもブレイクしてきたら、すごく落ちていく可能性があるし、やった方がいいですよねと。
Right. Yeah. They need to square up this candle over here. See that? That candle needs to be squared up over in this area right over here. So, and we took this bottom out. Here's the bottom, and we took that out down here. So that's a sign we're going to try to make that move. So don't miss that move. We got a break and a hook right now on a 240 chart. Break, a hook. We're waiting for the go. Probably in Singapore or Asian, you might see this start to happen. And it can move that far. It is the Ferrari after all. New Zealand, we're...
ポンド円、これ注意してエージャンセッション、ロンドンセッション、シンガポールセッションと見ていきたいですねと。で、ポンド円はフェラーリみたいなもんで、フェラーリみたいなもので、すぐ動くよねっていうことを言ってましたね。で、9ドル見ていきましょ
う。We're really not interested in any sell here. We know where the targets are. You know, the first target is here, and the second target, come on. My drawer stopped drawing. First target's here, second target is down here, as you can see. But this has got a 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth wave is what we're really interested in, right? The fifth wave, and you can see once they get if they do the fifth wave, you can look in the past and see the third wave is what they're going to do in the fifth wave. So you can see they have lots of thrust of money in there. So when we get this trade, we're going to see lots of thrust of money. You're going to have to be a
9ドルなんですけども、下のターゲットっていうのは分かっていますよねと。でもアップトレンドだし、買っていきたいよねっていうことで、1、2、3、4、5波、次5波が来ますよねと。で、3波と同じような大きな流れになると思いますっていうことを言っています。
Head of that curve, you know, realizing why did they do that? Because of the wide open space. Why did they do that? Because of the wide open space. See that? Why did they do that? Because of the wide open space. So what are we going to do over here? Wide open space, wide open space, wide open space. Don't miss those trades. You can see exactly what they're going to.
3波の時にワイドオープンスペース、こういうスペースのあるところをこう狙ってきたわけですよねと。そうしたら5波のもこれから起こるこのワイドオープンスペースっていうところを狙って上がってくるんじゃないかなと。
Try to do it to get it going. Alright? They're respecting the bottom right now, and you know we're in position to make that move without a doubt. Alright. Aussie yen has got some opportunity to the downside here. Not really fired up about this trade to the downside at all. Although once I get down in this area, I will be interested here. Right in here, there's just not enough space to even consider it. And so I would prefer that it come down here and prove that it's going to take these out, and then take that trade right there. That's the.
オージー円もう少し売っていけそうなんですけども、ここはスペースがなさすぎて、これをちゃんとブレイクしてフックしてきたらその次の下のターゲットまで、取っていきたいねと。
Trade I'm looking for. All right. If we get a bounce, you can see where we're in. What will we be in if we get a bounce? We'll be in a wedge. We need to break out.
跳ね返ってきたらウェッジになってしまうので、それはできないんですけど、下にブレイクしてきたら打っていきたいね。
On the breakout here. If we get on here, you can get stuck in here, and you can be upside down on Friday, and you never get out of this thing. All right. So just be careful. Can't trade the euro pound today. It's too late in the week. All right. Again, all the yens have corrected, but they're not doing big trends to the downside. They're just showing us corrections. That means that they're really, really looking to buy. Right? All the yens have all got closing reverses with twins at the bottom. So it will not surprise me if they move to the top. If they move to the top, we'll adjust the trend. But right now, there's nothing. If it does, however, break to the downside, you can all see they're going to have to take this day chart bottom out. But if they take that day chart bottom out, we got a big rocker to the downside right here.
どの通貨もそうなんですけど、結構調整が入ってて、これはもうアップワード、つまり上の方への力を蓄えている、リトレースしていると見ています。なので、このままこのデイチャートのボトムっていうのをブレイクしてきたらワイドオープンスペースあるんですけども、アップトレンドになるんじゃないかなみたいなことを言っています。もしこの 1.28どれくらいでしょう 1.2826 ですかね、これデイチャートのボトムがあるんですけども、もし割ってきたら下まで取っていきたいよねっていう感じで、
EuroCAD is kind of flopping around here. Not much to do. The direction is not really defined yet, but it's given us signs. We got a set of twins here. We got 1, 2, 3 higher lows. You can see that this could very well be the trend to the upside. So when we
ユーロカナダなんですけども、まだどっちに動くかよくわかんないよと。どっちの方向に行くかディファインドだよっていうことで、どっちの方に今力がかかってるかちょっと微妙だよと。でも見てみると、まずトゥインキャンドルっていうのが出ていて、そしてハイヤーローが1個2個3個できている。つまり安値がこう更新されてっているっていうことで、ウェルトレンド、いいアップトレンドになるかもしれないよねっていうことを言っています。
break above this line right here. If it proves that it can break up in here, there's our trade. Same trade we had yesterday, right there. Or day before yesterday.
もしこの今のトップっていうのをブレイクしてきたら、ここをブレイクしてきたら、先日と同じようにここの間を取っていけるよねということで、ここから下から引いた HSI ですねの1、2、3、4、R4 まで取っていこうよっていう感じです。
Same exact trade, and then there's another one up here. Big snowman. We love snowman. Alright, so that's the opportunity up to the upside. CAD yen. If we get to sell, probably in Singapore, or then we'll be looking for the sell down to this S5. We've been waiting for this all morning, and the thing just wouldn't get any legs. We've had now a break, a hook. We're now in position to do the go. If we do the go, we're going to go down to here. All right, so everybody knows. If you don't know this trade, you've been sleeping all morning because we've been watching this one all morning long, and we can't make it.
今朝、あっちの今朝っていうことで、僕たちの、昨日の夜中だったんですけども、僕もこれ見てたんですよね。スコットのセミナー見てたんですけど、このカナダ円ずっと見てたよねと、オールモーニングって言ってましたよね。でもしこのトレードのやり方わかんないだったら、あなたは今朝寝てたんだよねみたいなジョークを飛ばしてるんですけども、これブレイクしてきて、フックしてきてるんで、この5、突き抜けてきたら、ストップこの、貯金高値に置いて、この下まで S5 まで取っていこうよっていうようなトレードです。
Move in our session, okay? But we are ready to go if it happens later. All right, we're ready to go. We know what to do, where to trade it. Yeah, exactly right, Carl and Mark. Here we got another yen. You can see it's just a corrective move right now. I'm not really thinking that this is a downtrend at all. The charts are telling me that this is not a real trend to the downside. I'm going to put that on and take this up.
今これ9円なんですけども、円絡みっていうのがコレクティブムーブ、調整に入ってますよねと。でも僕はこれまだダウントレンドになっているとはどうも見えませんと。僕にはそういうふうには見えません。単なるコレクティブムーブでトレンドラインを引き直してみましょうという感じで。
So it doesn't confuse me. So we could have a little false breakout here and pop back up in. All right, this has got good angle. This has no angle at all. So it's nothing more than a correction move. All right, so there's no PSRs up here. We have none up this high. We're in the
9円。この今新しく引き直したアップトレンドは Good Angle って言ってましたよね。Good Angle。いい角度ですよね。でもこっちのダウントレンドは No Angle。アングルがない。角度がないので、これは単なる下の方のアップトレンドのフォースブレイクアウト。騙しのブレイクアウトでまた戻ってくる可能性が強いよねっていうことを言っています。
Fifth wave also, so we're near the top. So it's going to be tough. Pound New Zealand, for those of you who get it, who can trade it, there are two opportunities here. One is when they come back up to the top here, if they respect this trend line and break, it's 180 pips down to here. All right, so this top is where you want to be looking.
ポンドニュージーランド、This top what you want to look for って言ってますから、まあ、このトップっていうのを見ておきたいよね。トレンドラインの上にありますし、でここに戻ってきて跳ね返ったら180ピップまだ目指せますから、いいトレードになりますよと。
Looking for a sell if it continues on up. If it doesn't, and eventually breaks down in this area, you can all see that's your opportunity down there. Could be, Linda. You can see the moving averages are trend is your friend till it bends. All right, but right now what they're doing here, is this. They're doing a sideways movement. So what do we know about a sideways movement, Linda? When they do it, even though this is a big sideways, it's 180 pips. Is that a continuation move to the down? Oh, you're talking about the New Jersey? I'll go look at it here. All right, so this is a continuation move to go ahead and make that trade. So we'll see if that happens.
まあこの今レンジとかボックスっていうんですけど、レクタングルとも言いますけど、こういうパターンっていうのはコンティニューションパターンのことが多くて、今までのこの動きっていうのを継続して下がってくる可能性が高いと。
NJ, trend is your friend till it bends. Yeah. There's no doubt it could be bending. All right, but see, the problem with this is the angle of this trend. That is not 45 degrees. That's 45 degrees. That is less than that. All right, way less than that. Probably about 34, 35 degrees. Not much at all on it. All right. So what it looks to me like, more than anything else, is a corrective move to be in position for the bounce. All right. How will we know that it's not that when it breaks down into this area? See that?
まあもう一回 QA 見てるんですけど、この角度45度ですよね。でもこの角度45度より少ないですよね。で、まあこれコレクティブムーブに過ぎないと思うんですよねと。じゃあコレクティブムーブじゃなくて、ダウントレンドになったっていう判断はどうするか。この安値、この壁ブレイクして、このワイドオープンスペースに入ってきたら、もうこれコレクティブムーブじゃないぞっていうふうに見ますと言っています。
So, yeah, it could be a Gartley, Carl, for sure, it could be a Gartley. Which means if it's a Gartley, we have a little bit more room down here, and then we should see it bounce to the upside. So, I'm just not fired up about this one at all. Yeah, corrective move makes the uptown shallow because what it is it's not really trying to trend to the downside. It's just trying to get low enough so people are interested to go back into the buy. See that, Linda? All right. So all they do, they're at the top. They know nobody's going to buy at the top, so they got to correct it. They got to bring it down where people get interested. Right? Well, that's why I had to redraw the uptrend. The old trend was like this. So I had to redraw the uptrend because if it is a corrective move, and I don't know that yet, I think it is, but I just said the worst words you can say in Forex, think. Don't think, let the chart tell you what it is. The chart tells me that downtrend is too shallow, that this down move they've had is correcting to get to the bottom so that they can be a buyer. All right? Now.
まあこれダウントレンドに見えませんと。多分というかそのアップトレンドのコレクティブムーブだと思いますって言ってて、I think って言ってたんですけど、I thinkって言ってたんですけど、その think っていう言葉ですよね。THINK と思いますっていう言葉は為替のトレードにおいて最もいけない言葉でまあその思うなとか感じる、まあそういうことを言ってるんじゃなくて、そのチャートがあなたにtell you、あなたに言っていることっていうのを聞くだけで、私はこう思いますとかそういうことは為替でやっちゃいけませんよと。
That will all be invalidated if they take that bottom. Yeah, well, this is still 45 degrees. Can we see that? 8 to 2. Remember, it's 8 to 2 on your watch. Is that 8 to 2? 1, 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. This is 8 to 2. All right? But this is not 10 to 4. This is 9.5 to 3. See that? It can't be greater than 45 degrees, but you just watch it. You look on your watch. Okay, that's how you tell. Hold on, I'll pull it up for you. I don't want to do that. There we go. That's what it is. And see, that's a sustainable trend. That's a sustainable trend. That uptrend is 8 to 2. All right. But this downtrend is shallow. It's about 9.5 to 3.5. See that? See the difference there, Linda? Oh, that could be too. All right. 9.5 to 3.5, which is not a good trend. All right? So we don't want to mess with that trend. All right, so that's why it's just a caution. It doesn't mean that it isn't doing it. I don't know what it's doing. Does anybody know what it's doing? I don't got a clue. Nor does anybody else. We're just trying to figure it out and we'll see what we would do if it happens. If it breaks out of here and keeps going down, then maybe we do have a better trend. Okay. You know, if it proves that, then, you know, we'll look for this trade to the downside for sure. That means this trend is really not what it is. The trend is totally subjective. And the problem with trends is because they're subjective, they could be anything. So that's how it takes thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of trends before you get good at them. So if you put on 12 and you think you're an expert, you're not. You got to go, it's thousands of trends. It's not hundreds, it's thousands you got to do. All right? So, yeah, and they're hard because they are subjective. You know, we have rules for our trends. We have rules for our trends. Most people don't, but we have rules for them. But even so, that still means it's yeah. I need a lower low to prove that it's not the trend. If it comes down here, it still makes sense that it's just trying to take out the support. See, so that doesn't do me any good. It's got to break down below here. Once it breaks into here, then I know I can trade it. I can't trade it here because this is definitely a bounce point, as you can see. And I don't want to trade into that bounce point, especially when I got two targets in between here. Can everybody see that? There are two targets that it hasn't taken out, which take out half of the room that's here. There's really no room in here to trade it to the downside at all. Yeah, well, yeah, the trends are just tough, you know. When we do the mentorship class, the first night it's on trends. It takes us 3 hours to do trends. 3 hours doing trends in mentorship. 3 hours. You got to be kidding me. How can there be that much? There's that much. They're really hard. They look easy, but they're really hard. But because of that angle, I'm not interested in that one yet. All right. So, yeah. Okay, thanks. It's almost ABC, but it's, you know, it's still pretty shallow. Still pretty shallow in comparison. All right. So, all right, over to the silver. This could be a head and shoulders. We don't know. This could be the bottom. We don't know. I'm hoping that if it is a buy, I would take the AB.
ちょっと聞き入ってしまったんですけども、今何言ってたかっていう、まあトレンドの説明ですよね。で、8時、2時っていうのが良くて、で、まあそのメンター、こう為替の先生になる時のクラスでトレンドのこと、まあそういうクラスやってるんですけど、トレンドの話だけで3時間とか話すんですよねと。でも考えられないよね。トレンドだけで3時間だよみたいなことを言ってるんですけど、まあそういう話をしてて今ちょっと聞いていたんですが、まあ続いて、銀見ていたいんですが。
So now that's the way you practice it. Just go in the chart and then look at your watch, and you can see that's what they are. And you can see it's also the same as this key up here. You see that little trend line key right there? That's 45-degree angle. All right, let me show you that again. All right. If you're looking for what the angle is, the trend line key shows it to you right there. So, yeah, sometimes it's exactly true. Sometimes somebody say, you know, I don't think the trend's right. And I keep looking and say, you know, you're right. I'm wrong. It's so subjective. I can be absolutely, totally wrong. You know, totally wrong. So we'll see. All right. Last currency now is the pound chief. All right. This session recap's gone a little longer than I like. I like it 10 minutes because then it's easy for people to watch just before they trade the next session. You can see we've had a strong bounce up here, and you know, this is not making a lot of sense. We've had a big number 1, a good number 2, and then we've had a 3 that was truncated and split in half. All right, now we're looking to do we're doing 4 up to the top. All right, and then we should get 5. So the reality is we want this trade tomorrow. All right, because if they've been buying this today and yesterday up to here, then to square this up, they got to sell it off. And see, that's what they're doing. They're building this so they're ready to square up tomorrow. Right? See, they don't have the same agenda you and I have. Their agenda is build the thing so we can make the most money when we get it in place. All right? They're building a railroad here. That's what they're doing. But right now they're laying tracks to the top so that maybe tomorrow when they square up, they scream it to the downside. Now the other agenda could be they're done with the down move and they're going to break it to the upside too. We don't know what that is yet. So if we
ポンドフランなんですけども、上に来て跳ね返るか、もしくはそのままブレイクして上に行くかだと思いますと。どっちかでしょうねと。
Get the chance, and this moves up to the top tonight. Tomorrow we're going to look to square it up down to the downside. We'll definitely be looking.
で、今日僕たちの今日、跳ね返って下に下がってくるのが可能性が高いんじゃないかなと。
For that trade in the morning. So, and you might look for it in London tonight. They may get it to the top and do it in London, right? Not now. I don't think it's going down. I think that I don't know what it's doing. I never know, Colin. I mean, I can't ever say what it's doing. I don't know what it's doing. But what makes sense based on the structure of the market is an A, B, C to the top. See that? All right, an A, B, C. And when you get to the top, since they've been buying it, how would you square up your buy? You sell it off, and they'll be in position to do that tomorrow. Could be, but we don't have 5 waves. We only have 1, 2, 3. So we need a 4 and a 5 yet to finish the trend off. See? It can. Yep. All right. Learn the structure of the market. Don't go in the market looking for a trade. Go in the market looking for the structure of the market. All right? Then the trade will become evident. See? And you won't be on the wrong side of the order flow. All right? If you figure out the structure, you'll figure out what the order flow is today. All right? So you can go to, where is it that does that tip? Where you can get a drawer, zoom it. Yeah, you can go to zoom it and get one. Zoomit.exe. And you can get a drawer. This is part of the presentation software. Anyway.
はい、というわけで今日のセッションリーキャップおしまいです。で、今日はトレードだと何も来てなかったんですけども、ちょっといつもより長くなってしまったんですけども、こんな感じで、今日最終日ということでやっていきたいと思いますが、僕個人としてはポンド円とか見てて、昨日結構、ユーロ円とかポンド円のサインが来てて、結構取れましたね、150ピップとか。またそれも日記にアップしていきたいんですけど、もうちょっと取れたなっていう、もう全然もっと取れたなっていう僕の感想としてはあるんですけど、どうも僕は最近のその楽しみっていうのが夜ご飯で夜ご飯食べてる間に終わっちゃうっていうことがよくあるんですけど、それは仕方ないかなって思ってて、それでも150ピップぐらい取れたんで、そんな欲をかかずに、やっていこうかなと思います。結構その会員の皆さんも会員さんの方も、結構昨日は取れたよっていう方も多くてよかったなと思いますが、結構ね、その僕なんて日記 SNS の日記見てもらえば分かるんですけど、2月調子良くなくて、昨日とか一昨日まで、200ピップとか250ピップぐらい取れてたんですけど、ちょっと少ないなって、すごく少ないなと思ってたんですよね。で、もうなんか一進一退って感じだったんですけど、昨日とか一昨日でいきなりドンと200ピップとか勝って、この10日間とか何だったんだよみたいな。つまりですね、その、トータルで、500ピップぐらいにはなったんですけど、2月の結果として、その何が言いたいかと言いますと、そういう一進一退のことがもちろんあるんですよね。でもそこでやめないことだと思うんです。で、もし僕、もうダメだってなっちゃって、2月やめたとかなっちゃってたら、そのまま200ピップで終わってましたし、それがいきなりダブルアップするにはですね、やっぱりやってて、こういう大きな動きとか調子いい連勝とか来ないとやっぱなっていかないので、止まらずコツコツやり続けるのが一番の為替のトレードで利益を上げる方法だと思いますので、やってみてください。そして何かわからないことありましたら本当いつでもご質問いただければ、大体僕毎日パソコン見てますので、絶対パソコン1日に1回は見ますので、ご連絡いただければ、ねざき-ねざき-y@chartmaster.jp までご連絡いただければお返事しますのでよろしくお願いいたします。それでは今日ちょっと長くなりましたが、どうもありがとうございました。また次は火曜日ですね。そんな感じで、チャートマスターのウェブセミナー日曜日にキノピーさんやりますので、よかったら見てみてください。それではどうもありがとうございました。失礼します。